Hello, it's almost time for War with a Mate, but it's currently November, which is a good chance to do something good through the means of Movember, which for me currently consists of sporting a pretty embarrassing moustache. Got rid of the facial hair I did have, now I have a little bit of facial hair, and I do not suit a moustache.
It's coming in all right. We'll see how it is.
Been a few days.
Yeah.
I only shaved a few days ago. I didn't shave on the 1st of November, so I can feel the kind of stubble. It's odd having to shave all the time. But it is for a good cause. Movember is in support of the prevention of the death of young men, whether that's through the mental health crisis of suicide, whether that's through prostate cancer or testicular cancer. It's raising awareness and money for people who really are in need of that. So I'm raising money for that. What we'll be doing is popping a link in the description of this episode. I'm aiming for a raising of £100, and if I hit that goal, I'll show you all this ridiculous excuse for a mustache come the end of November. And also committed to, should we hit £1,000,
Okay, you doing this?
I'll even get a War with a Mate tattoo. Something of some description, something silly probably, but I'll do that, and I'm terrified of tattoos. But it's an important cause. It's one that I value, it's close to my heart, and if you have a friend or anyone you know who you haven't talked to in a while, or someone you feel needs a talking to, have that conversation. Look after your own health, look after your friend's health.
Reach out, talk to people.
Doesn't matter how it is, whatever you say, whatever you do, even if it's playing a very long board game for a very long time, it doesn't matter how you hang out or how you look out for another person. It's just important that you do. But that's enough of the important stuff. Let's get on to the less important, nonsensical stuff. Let's do some War with a Mate. Thank you.
And we're off.
This is it. The starting gun has been fired. This is War with a Mate, the podcast where we have starting guns. Oh, he's firing them.
Help me out in the edit.
Oh, no. It's just going to be duck noises. So fun. I love a good duck noise. I think probably one of the funniest
Animal sounds.
Yeah. I was going to say the funniest sound that's not inherently comedic when you hear it out in the wild. You hear a fart out in the wild, you're going to have a giggle.
Oh, yeah.
You hear a duck out in the wild, you don't laugh. But then if you put it into a situation where a duck shouldn't be, here come the chuckles.
An unexpected honk.
An unexpected honk. I believe that's the first Hobbit film. This is War with a Mate, with me, James, a very funny man.
And me, Andy.
A very funny man. We're just two very funny men, and we're here to play the Campaign for North Africa, a very funny game. Funny in the sense that it's really long. That's sort of where the humour starts and ends. It's very complicated as well. I guess if you're into that sort of thing, that might be funny too. I'm having a whale of a time, Andy. How are you?
Same. This was a goodie. This was a good session, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
We weirdly came in. We were pretty low energy. You can't be doing that.
I can't be doing what?
Eating on mic.
I'm not eating on mic.
You are.
I'm eating off mic.
Even if you edit it out, it's distracting me now.
I'm just having a bit of popcorn, Andy.
Okay. So we came in for turn 3. We kicked it off.
Yeah.
Very uneventful naval convoy stage.
I agree. You looked for my guys and once again did not find them.
That Mediterranean, it's hard to find.
Well, the thing is, it's a vast open space of water and you're looking for 3 humble convoys. Of course you're going to have a hard time doing it.
It shouldn't be this hard.
Well, just like your long-range desert group, maybe they need to book up their ideas. Maybe they need to actually start doing stuff.
Well, we'll get to that, because those guys are back in action, but...
I wouldn't say back in action, because that indicates that
they've been in
action at some point, rather than just some fictional force that might do something one day.
In action, I guess. Yeah, uneventful naval convoy, so we jumped over. I did a bit of most of my store expenditure beforehand. You're going to do it as homework.
Yes, I've now got a bit of a copy-paste formula ready. You came across a little gem when it comes to the sheets we're using. We now have a way to automate a little bit more of the water and fuel evaporation.
Yes, I've been using Google app scripts, JavaScript. Oh, God. It's a mess, but it will help in the final game.
Yeah, we said we're playing the whole game, but we were allowed to use help. We're not automating
Especially
anything
if we
that we
make it.
Yeah, we're doing manual intervention, so it counts. Yeah. We're allowed to do that. All of you naysayers out there, this is fine, we're allowed to do it. It's our game. It's Richard Berg's game, but we're borrowing it.
Yeah, we're having a go at it.
Eventually he's going to show up on the playground and take it away because it's his football, and we're not allowed to play the game
we're
anymore.
ruining it for him.
We're allowed to play his game, we can't have it for our own. You know what I can have for my own, Andy? I can have this bag here of popcorn. You know what's great? I've found recently. So there's a buttered popcorn. It's microwave popcorn that I really love, and they do it in a shop near mine. And I found just today that they also do it at the shop next to Andy's. So I've rushed there as soon as I found out that they do a lovely coffee. Actually, this all stemmed from that lovely coffee you gave me, Andy.
It was nice coffee, yeah.
It's a salted caramel coffee, and I'm enjoying a cup right now, just to keep me zested up. And I love it. I immediately, as soon as you said it was sold at the shop around your your area, popped round, bought a pack while we were setting up to record, and also saw this beautiful butter popcorn. So now I'm enjoying a salted caramel coffee and a bag of microwave butter popcorn, and it's delicious.
I just wish you were doing it on mic.
Well, no one can hear it. I'm stood away from the mic when I'm enjoying it.
Okay.
It's better when it's warm. So if I enjoy it while it's warm, I'm having the best experience. And you want me to have fun, don't you, Andy?
There's an hour window where we need to be able to talk.
I can still talk. I can talk with my mouth full to you. I'll edit around it. Okay, no one will know.
This is going to be a short one.
Oh, no, I will drag this out. If anything, it's going to be longer because we'll have to break in between. But anyway, you were saying, when it comes to your moves, because it's been mostly your moves today, it's been a very big Andy session, not much of a James session.
Yeah, so we handled our organisation phase, got that sorted. Went straight into the air phase, which, because of the sandstorms, you couldn't really, participate in.
Yeah, well, I did have a very crushing moment when I sat there, you were working out your air stuff, I started working out my air stuff, determining how many bombs I had, and I said to you, this is probably going to be the last bombing run that I do for a long while, because I'm sort of hamstrung after this. And then you just told me I can't bomb, and then I remembered what was going on. Then I recalled that because of what you did last time, I can't actually do anything.
Love a sandstorm.
You ruled bad weather.
Good for me.
Bad for James. Bad for James.
No apologies here.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of annoyed about. That's the gripe I've got. If I'm being completely transparent, my gripe is that you've kind of ruined my air stuff.
I'll take it. That's been the second part of my doctrine. Fuck the trucks. Fuck the planes.
Just fuck me, I guess, is what's going on here.
Well, when I get fuck the land sorted, yes. It's sort of building towards that.
A three-pronged attack on my psyche.
So because we couldn't fly into the sandstorm and you couldn't fly out of it, it basically meant the entire RAF in North Africa went after the Saharan detachment.
Didn't love that. Did not love that the Saharan detachment that I've nurtured into your enemy space, all the way to Map D, is now a shell of its former self. Granted, you didn't take out too much of it permanently, but you did do 2 bombing runs and 4 strafe missions.
Yes, so
that's demented.
It is kind of, but I just felt the need. So I dropped basically the max column of bombs on them.
471 plus.
Yes, I think it was like 503 in the end. Dropped them right on their heads, pinned all the infantry in there, and one of the guns. But there was a narrow escape on the first camel kill of the game.
That really shook me to my core, because I was looking at the Saharan detachment and what they have on their roster, and one of them is indeed the camel group.
Yeah.
They are there, and they are the only group that you didn't hit with bombs or strafe. They're the only thing that was left completely unscathed by that air mission in total.
Yeah.
I was really scared we were going to have to start finally determining what the camels do.
Fortunately, we've saved it for now, so that's something to work out later.
I don't like how close it came, though. That was dangerous territory. We could have had to figure out what the camels do today. You realise how fundamentally damaging that is to our brand? Well, our whole thing is based on this. It's all around, did they finish the game? Well, yeah, probably eventually. But what are the camels for? They can never answer that. If they answer it, it's like if Doctor Who told you what his name is.
Just let down.
Whatever the answer is, it's not going to be satisfying. It's the same with the camels. Whenever you find out what the camels actually are, it's not fun anymore. That's why everyone's stuck around. It's been a year since we got the game, Andy. We still don't know what the camels are for. If we tell them now...
You're really trying to gaslight me into preserving the camels, aren't you?
I'm not trying to gaslight you. I'm telling you right now, preserve the camels. Gaslighting you would be convincing you that there's some sort of, self-interest for you. I'm telling you right now, I need this. Okay. This is the most honest I've been.
Well, that's not good either.
Well, I guess that does show that I've been quite heartless and cruel and obfuscating with all of the truth. But, that's war. It's war with a mate. It's not have a good time that's open and honest with a mate. It's a long title that would not go well with SEO.
Yeah, no one wants to really hear that. So yes, big bombing run. Then I did a little bombing run because my skewers, I'm definitely pronouncing that wrong, are dive bombers. So they strafed and bombed your frontline trucks.
Also didn't love that.
Found that's available as an option. That's fun.
Yeah, because we had a little rules look over where I wasn't sure that you could definitely do that to first line trucks. Then you pointed out the part in the rules where it specifies specifically dive bombers can do that. So there go a couple of trucks because you took out 2 trucks that are first line, then you took out another 2 trucks.
I bombed the first line with the skewers who are part of the group that strafed the first line.
Yes.
Got 2 first line trucks, which are the trucks attached to the unit, carrying their supplies directly. And then I strafed 3 more infantry things, got 2 more tow points. So, I mean, for the amount of investment from my Air Force, for the damage it did, probably wouldn't be worth it in general because they couldn't do anything else. It was because we've heard some concerns about strafing being overpowered. Some people, someone emailed us about that, and
yes,
I think there's maybe potential for it because they do directly kill tow, which no other real aircraft stuff do.
Yeah, strafing is unique because I thought bombing was essentially what strafing is when we first started. When I looked at how much I could do with bombing, I thought, wow. I'm going to really pick off some tow points here. Committed wholeheartedly, realised I was just pinning you. Yeah. And then I sort of went the other way where I was like, well, bombing's great because it's actually battalions that you're pinning. It's not individual tow points. And then I swung back the other way when I was like, oh, strafing does what I thought bombing did.
Yeah.
So then I was like, right, strafing is incredibly overpowered. Overpowered within the measures of the game. Because we talked about this a little bit today in the relevancy of the email that we've got. And I don't think it's game breaking. I just think it's powerful. Yeah. I think strafing is a very useful tool in the arsenal of your air missions. I don't think it ruins the game. However, when it comes to my air superiority, I'm interested to see if that does some real damage in the full playthrough. Because I haven't used it to its full extent for a while. I've
been sort of hampered by supplies, and then I've been hunting your SGSUs pretty aggressively.
But also for the first first full turn, I didn't strafe.
No.
I solely used the fighters for sort of screening missions.
Yeah, I guess that is also the payoff. You have to choose, are you going to screen, are you going to hunt enemy like bombers, or are you going to strafe?
I think if I knew at the time I could strafe, I think a lot of my bombers would have went undefended for a good while.
Right.
I think I just would have went sort of balls to the wall. Let's drop some bombs. Let's do some strafing. Let's spread out the Air Force because you can't cover all areas that I'm going to hit.
Yeah.
Because when you defend as well, and I fly planes in, you have to commit to taking out a particular mission. You can't take on everything that's coming into that hex.
No.
So you'd have to pick between stopping the bombers or stopping the fighters.
Yeah, I think I'd probably stop the bombers in most cases, but I guess it's a case by case.
Well, bombers have the biggest impact on close assault because I can pin you and just remove a group from being present in a close assault, or reduce their maneuverability in a close assault. Whereas strafing, I can slowly chip away and erode a force. In that next close assault, it won't have a massive impact. But over time, I'm just making your forces hemorrhage.
Yeah, you're making them smaller. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how strafing plays out. I think it's almost like a new toy at the minute where
we are getting very
we're getting our
overzealous
money's
with it.
worth out of strafing. But yeah, that was a pretty quick air phase because it was all the missions were going to one thing.
Yeah, and again, I couldn't do mine, so that was a very one-sided one. And yes, you fired them off pretty rapid. It was just a couple tow points of my men, which also took the trucks that were transporting them alongside. And because you've pinned so many of my units, you've pinned everyone but the camels.
Yeah.
And I did have a fun idea of just sending the camels off on their own. I thought that might be a fun way to explore the camels, but I thought let's not jeopardize my stance in the game for the ongoing meta of the camels are funny. But I did think about it. It did cross my mind. So now they're stuck. The Saharan detachment can't move for this op stage.
Which I'm happy with.
That was, as soon as the weather was ruled, we knew where that was going.
Well, yeah, we had a sort of laugh at the end of last session when we did the weather, because it was like, the only thing attackable by either of us with planes is your guys.
Yeah, it's insane how unlucky they are just crossing the threshold into map D right when that weather hits. That's insanely bad luck.
But I'm pretty happy with it. My plan is, I was hoping to take more frontline trucks so they got stranded. Like if they didn't have the fuel and water to keep them going, they'd just sort of linger down there in the Qataran depression and then die.
No, I think they've got enough to go. They're fine for supplies because their stores were fine for this this turn.
Yeah.
And water-wise, you don't deplete a whole lot of water. There's not a ton of them. I was saying to you earlier, actually, the ratio of trucks to men in that particular group is some of the best I've got out of all of them.
Yeah.
Some of the divisions that come pre-fit with a certain amount of trucks are pretty well off, just because the game has kind of balanced it for me. There was no room for me to make that mistake. So, yeah, they're actually quite well off. However, them being pinned for a whole op stage does scupper their plan, which is move as fast as you can and just bull towards your guys. With a whole op stage lost, that has reduced their effectiveness in the scenario pretty significantly. I think it's a measurable difference you've made with that.
It's let me clear some of the stuff off the top road as well.
Yeah, you don't need to have a worry about them getting caught midway on their own.
All the supply situation. Like I had a last truck convoy stage. I was like careful to leave the truck convoys. They didn't go as far as they could have because I didn't want to leave just a truck on the road where it's like, oh, you burn the CPA and maybe give them some bad cohesion, but you get a massive convoy.
Which realistically is the way I was looking at it. When you started to strafe and bomb, I was like, right, if they miss with the bombs and they just strafe a bit and take out some trucks, then I am going straight up there, taking the trucks back, making up for losses, and then zip round in some of the trucks. I also waxed about some of the idea of planting an airfield on map D and then flying planes over so that if another situation like this arises, I've got an Air Force contingency ready on map
support,
D. Yeah, so I can do some stuff there, which would be limited. And I know for a fact you'd want to try and take that airfield out, but the benefit is I don't think you can bomb SGSU specifically.
You can bomb the airfield and reduce its capacity, and if you reduce it to a point, because you need to double check, there's a big difference between making an airfield, which is multiple, and an airstrip.
Airstrip only handles one squad, an airfield is 6.
Yeah.
So it's vastly different. Resource-wise, it's a big commitment, but you could bomb them, but from what I remember, when you bomb them, it's pretty hard to take out a lot.
I mean,
you can take out the planes fairly easy.
It's relatively easy to take out 1 or 2 levels. I think when I bombed when I bombed Fort Magdalena before I took it with the 7th, I think I took out 3 of the 6.
I think you did, but I think that was a big commitment as well, and I didn't fight back against it.
Yeah, it was all my bombers.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it was like, if I split them, there's a high chance both do nothing.
Yes. Yeah, so I think that was I think that was a really good air session because for me as a spectator, I got to review a lot of the damage done without getting to have my own input. I think it puts it in a very different perspective when I'm not just watching you and then be like, all right, let's get this out of the way and I'm going to do my thing in retaliation. It's just sat there watching it happen and kind of going, right, every air phase I'm losing stuff to this kind of effect. Yes, this was an exaggerated one, but I think it sort of put an interesting spin on
highlighted the potential, like
the losses I can take, or alternatively the damage I can do. If I make a focused attack on one group, I can really scupper them completely.
Yeah.
So I think it has changed the way I've seen things. It's kind of been eye-opening. It's just a shame it came at the cost of my ace in the sleeve.
Yeah. But like that was the entire RAF in North Africa to kill 200 guys. I think the pinning is probably more useful to like lock someone down for a turn. Because I don't think you're ever going to be like taking a division out.
Definitely not
even over like 2 or 3 turns. You're probably not going to get a division down to like a place where it's not functional anymore with just aircraft.
No, not unless you're constantly dogging that and nothing else. You'd have to be on them every single op stage, and it's sort of a waste of your air potential.
At that point, the division's probably doing as much good as it would by itself if it's just taking the other person's air combat for like multiple turns. It's like, yeah, I'll pay that.
Yeah, if it's drawing that much attention, it's probably worthwhile letting it die, and the enemy loses their air capacity completely.
Yeah. But then, because we were on a rolled my refits, you didn't fly anything, so you just didn't need to do that. So we jumped onto the movement phase.
Yeah, we went straight into movement, and you have initiative, so it was over to you.
And not too much. Pulled the 7th back a bit.
Yes.
But because of the sandstorm, they couldn't go too far.
They've only moved... Is it 2 hexes?
2 hexes, because if they use more than half their CPA, which the lowest guy in there's 10, the breakdown goes up a rank.
Yes, which is, I mean, on the back of hot weather, it really is starting to add up, all of this breakdown stuff. I was careful last op stage, but if I keep on playing on the basis of I need to not break down, I'm never gonna move. So I feel your pain there. I can empathize with you, but I'm not sorry that they're stuck on map C, because I don't like them.
Because the sandstorm does double movement cost, which kind of means it's not that... My thing was to get away from them, and if your guys can move half the distance that my guys can move, it's the same.
Yeah.
So they're like going to be the same relative distance away, just not quite as far back east.
Unless I push them really hard and I just gang up on you. And who's to say I won't?
I mean, you could. That'd be rough on you.
It would.
You might lose multiple divisions.
I won't lose multiple divisions.
You could. Also, aren't quite a few of them on half rations? Or not enough food?
I won't lose multiple divisions.
I mean, they can't even attack.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think the reality is if I push them through this sandstorm, then they would be devastated. Yeah, I don't think it's a viable option. Hang on, we're saying sandstorm. Is this not a rainstorm?
No, sandstorm.
Is it definitely?
I have a note, but yeah.
I've got this funny feeling it's a rainstorm because my wells were going to replenish.
Oh my fucking god! Is it? Was it? But we were talking about. One sec.
I think it's a rainstorm.
Oh my god, it was. Yeah, it was because you can't fly out of that either, can you?
No, I can't.
Okay. We were just excited to have a sand because I thought we'd had all the weather types now.
No,
I guess we haven't had a sandstorm, yeah.
No, I think it was a rainstorm.
Yeah,
I think it was a rainstorm.
I think it's the same. The movement stuff I did was wrong, but the
air stuff is still the same.
The air stuff is correct.
Okay, well, you heard it here first, folks. This is live entertainment. Anything can happen.
Yeah, that's annoying. Why? We were both sure it was a sandstorm as well, I feel
All day we've been talking about the sandstorm.
Yeah.
But I've just had that that thing in my head, I remembered when I walked out of here last week, it had started to drizzle, and I made some sort of joke about the rain. And yeah, that's yeah. Oh my god, how are we going to get through this game? We are. Oh my god.
Yeah, we need better tracking on that stuff. It's not actually changed anything other than I didn't retreat as far, which I guess because I fucked it up, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, I guess...
Because everything other than the 7th for me happened on non-weather tiles.
Well, what we do have here, because we've used the air stuff correctly, that's fine. Yeah. And the movement is the last thing we've done. It's your movement.
Yeah.
We can always go back.
Yeah.
If you want to move your guys a bit extra on that basis.
Because it will literally just be the 7th.
Yeah, because I haven't moved any of my guys.
Yeah.
I also don't... Yeah, because anything I would have taken into consideration would have been moot anyway. So I think, we've always said, it's the practice scenario.
Yeah.
And it's also the case that I haven't done anything else. I've not...
Yeah, it's not interfered with, like, too much stuff. Oh, it's not a great string of not paying attention, though. We need to lock in.
That's so fucking bad. Between the map being wrong on the logo and us doing this, we're 2 for 2 in the last couple episodes of us fucking something up.
Yeah, that's not great.
But that's what the game is. That's what the game is. I think that's what people need to understand. And I know they do. I know everyone understands and they appreciate what we're doing here. It's a gargantuan task we're taking on, Andy.
Now, this is one where having the extra players would be helpful.
To remember the weather.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I don't even think that would help. If 2 people forgot the weather, 10 people can forget the weather.
I literally have a thing with the weather we've rolled for each turn. I just didn't check it. Add that to the old list in the head of what to do at the start of a turn. But yeah, I guess anyway, the rest of my movement was just moving things up to the front. The 7th Royal Tank Regiment and the 2nd Royal Tank Regiment arrived. So they got some trucks and started firing up towards the front.
And I guess we'll get some more of your movement next turn. We'll get the little capstone.
Just the 7th, but yeah.
Yeah, so that they'll move a little bit further. Yeah. Well, at least my Saharans weren't massively impacted by this weather mishap. If I found out that we'd absolutely destroyed the Saharans for no apparent reason, that would have really killed me.
It would have been a rollback probably.
But all is well. It's just it's just a little bit of go with the flow. It's all very fluid, moving. That's how this. It's art, Andy. Yeah. It's art. Would you like a bit of salted buttered popcorn?
No, I'm good.
You sure?
Yes.
You want me to throw a bit in your mouth?
No.
I bet you could catch a bit in your mouth.
We're not doing that.
Should we try that now?
No.
No? I think that would make for great audio podcasting.
Stop ruining the podcast.
I think it's the kind of thing... I think food ASMR may be the way to go. Or, I guess failing that, we could check the mailbag.
That's better. Let's do that.
Well, not only have we got the mailbag, but we also popped out a little message on the old Instagram while we were working away today. Because at first it looked like it was going to be almost an entirely admin-filled session because we had all of the store distribution. We had all of the usual start-of-turn mishaps and misadventures, hijinks. It turned into something much more, but we did have some people pop in some messages because we asked if anyone have any questions, pop them in. We also asked for people's favourite words. And we did leave it fairly short notice. We only have a couple. But to address them, we do have someone has submitted. One of my favourite words is woggle. Woggle is W-O-G-G-A-L. The only thing I could find is a similar word, spelt slightly differently, which is some sort of scarf worn by Girl Scouts. Now, I'm not sure if that's the thing that was being described.
Yeah.
But that's a favourite word. It's... I've got to admit, it's one I've not heard before, so I can't really speak to its...
Hopefully it's not bad.
I hope not. I hope it's not a bad word.
It's a funny sounding word.
Yeah, I guess some of the bad ones are. But we're giving the benefit of the doubt since I found that it's a Girl Scout scarf. So that's what I'm taking it to mean.
Okay.
And the other question was, what are your favourite units in the game?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think one of my favourites, I think because I've done a history one, I really like the concept of the long-range desert group as a unit in the game. Just the dice rolls haven't been particularly great. Although we did miss that. I did deploy them this turn to attack one of your supply dumps and truck convoys.
You did,
and they got 10% of it.
That's why we forgot it. They actually did something today.
Yes.
Yes, the long-range desert group took out 10% of my trucks. No, one truck.
One truck and 10% of what's in the supply dump.
An interesting thing we found is that when the long-range desert group are raiding a truck convoy, you choose the cargo.
And I choose the truck type.
Yes. So you chose a truck with water in over a truck that was empty, because those were your two options. And I chose the light truck with the water in, because it's the only one that had water in. So it was a fairly easy decision to make, but it's nice to know the split when it comes to that sort of thing.
Good to let that down.
So that was. So
they have contributed finally. We were alluding to it at the start, and then got sidetracked. But yes, I think just the idea of them being invisible, dropping in and out,
it's a cool concept.
Is a very cool concept. I think another favourite for me is one, because I'm doing the episode history stuff, so I've been researching them, and also they are my sort of big, heavy hitting guys. Is probably the 7th. They've also, of my units so far, probably done by far the most.
Yes, whether you measure it in the damage they've dealt or just the distraction they've been to everything I'm trying to do, they have been... I think they've been the most talked about unit of yours.
I mean, easily, yeah.
I think second place maybe the 4th Indian.
But the 4th Indian have sort of come up the road and been positioned at the end of it, but they've not had a fight or anything. Whereas the 7th's had 2 or 3 fights, fought at Magdalena and then another one later on.
Yeah, they've been a very present force.
Yeah.
So even if you just take into account the presence they've had, it's been the most significant of all your units. Because on the flip side, my most present units have been the black shirts when it comes to that fight around Madalena. Although, I don't know if this is cheating a bit, but my favourite piece is one I've not actually played yet.
No, that's fine.
And it's Rommel.
Yes, because he's another cool rule set.
Yes.
Guy flying around the map at high speed, giving a... Is it a straight morale boost or is it a cohesion boost?
He gives a straight morale boost.
That's much better.
I think... Oh, no, sorry. It's because he gives a boost to initiative when he's on the board.
Yes.
And then there's also the area that he's around. I think it's anyone that starts in the hex with him.
I think it's like a zone of control gives a buff to anyone.
I think it's morale. I'm talking about him being my favourite unit. I don't know exactly what he does. All I know is he's got a... If anyone plays D&D, it's like having a paladin with the aura effect.
It's a funny way to describe him.
Yeah, I guess I'm not comparing Rommel to being some sort of religious zealot.
Classic Rommel.
Rommel's... Yeah, I guess that's a bad comparison, but all you D&D gamers out there, you know what I'm talking about. I think it's a cool, unique piece. The only other one that I'm thinking of, which also... It's not a piece, so to speak, so I guess I'm veering off massively from the original question. But, I get that one raid per game.
Oh, yes.
The sort of bay torpedo type raid.
The flotilla.
That's it.
Flotilla raid, where you can block up Alexandria Harbour.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for the moment I choose to do that.
Yeah, it is cool. You're not allowed to do it in the scenario.
No, it's in the full game.
Once we're in the full game, you can use it. You have to plan it a couple of weeks in advance, if I remember rightly. But then once you do, you can use it at once, but at any point.
Yes. I don't even know that it expends any units. It's another rule where I'd have to go back and check it, but I don't think I actually have to spend anything to do it.
No, I think it's a one-off. Because I think they only did it... Well, they only did it once in the actual thing. And I think it was using like experimental mini submarines, which, I mean, you literally can't use them anywhere else.
Yeah, so that'll be cool to see how that pans out. I think that I'm excited for that, just to see how viable that is as a plan in the full game.
I've only used them once so far, but the naval stuff the Commonwealth gets gives them. I mean, that's gonna be. I'm excited for them to be weighing in on things.
Well, you've already bombarded a couple airfields.
Yeah, I knocked 2 airfields out with them. It's just this. It does mean anything along the coast up to like the edge of map B. I could reach out and do something to.
Where a lot of my airfields are.
Yeah.
Which I don't love.
Most of the action is going to happen realistically for the whole game.
Yeah. Yeah, you can take out a lot of stuff of significant importance. Bombarding cities and settlements, that's something we've not really got into a whole lot.
No.
But you'll be able to have a look at that and try that out for size.
Because I could think about attacking Bardia and Tobruk so you can't use them for shipping. Yeah, the Sangionos in Tobruk at the minute.
I can never remember if it's Bardia or Tobruk. I just know it's reduced. I've got it on the sheet because I had to do my my naval convoy arrival.
Yes, yeah, planning.
Yes, I had to book that in for next turn as well. You always book that in a turn in advance. It was quite handy because this week I rolled the same as last time. So I more or less have just copy and pasted the same distribution because it works out in quite a nice ratio.
Yeah. It's Tobruk because that's where Balbo died.
Ah, yes, of course. Yeah, we should have remembered.
Yes,
Balbo
shot him down.
At least it had one last act of defiance.
I think he got scuppered afterwards as well.
Yes, definitely not long after. Because
it was before this started. Balbo died in like June, July.
Yeah, and this starts in the third week of September.
Yeah. Well, it should start on the 13th. But I guess the calendar is...
They've delayed it a little
bit. Set up a bit differently, yeah.
Well, they had to set up all of the tiles and put all the pieces down.
Yeah.
So that's why it goes to the third week of September.
Of course.
Well, before we jump into the main mail bag, that is a bit of a tongue twister. That's not on me. That's actually the English language.
Main mail bag.
What? Annie, I have got loads of popcorn kernels in my mouth. It's very difficult for me to articulate.
That's your fault. You knew we were doing this.
You sprung it on me. You brought it out of nowhere. How was I to know that we were going to be recording War with a Mate?
So what do you want to get to?
I'll not say it now. So, yes, before we get into the main mail bag, I did want to bring up that we've been supporting Movember this month, and I'm sporting not the best moustache in the world, but a moustache. And since we reached out in the last couple episodes, we've actually raised, and this is from you guys listening that have contributed, £150, which is pretty wild that this wacky podcast about a wacky game has put £150 into a cause that is raising awareness for men's mental health, for suicide prevention, for research and development into different preventions of testicular cancer and prostate cancer, things that are actually saving lives. So I just wanted to say a massive thank you for everyone who's contributed. The link will remain in the episodes up until the end of November. It will also be on the Instagram. If anyone can contribute, if anyone can share it, even if anyone just talks about it and talks to the people close to them that they care about, massive thank you for anyone involving themselves in that. It's a massive thing. Just wanted to slot that in there, in amongst the wackiness, because it's an important thing, and I thought if we wrap it up in a fun sandwich, then it doesn't come across too serious. Because we try to keep this light. It's about the war, but it's also just a board game.
Yeah.
It's about serious stuff, but we're also just having a good old time with some butter popcorn. I can't think of a better way to spend the day, Andy. What about you?
Angry at you for this.
You've eaten food before.
No, I haven't.
Not on the podcast, but you've eaten food before.
That is the crucial differentiator.
Well, I'll make it up to you in next week's Common Ground, don't you worry. But before then, we do have some messages from our mailbag, which we missed last week with the anniversary special. It's good to get back to the mailbag and start chipping away. It's pretty full. It's bulging at the sides. And I'm not just talking about this bag of buttered popcorn. I'm just doing it to bait you now, Andy, and you are taking it every single time. The email opens from Rebecca. Oh, by the way, the subject is hope this finds y'all well. Another y'all. Love it.
Love it y'all.
And it opens in the most predictable way. Hello from Chicago.
Of course.
Well, all of our listeners are. Rebecca writes, I've been absolutely loving the podcast so far. I'm on episode 31. And it has helped keep me sane through many a work day. I'm very glad to hear that. While I've been enjoying the whole thing, I just wanted to highlight that I've especially enjoyed the history sections. Hey,
awesome.
Shout out, Andy.
Thank you.
I have a few questions if you don't mind. There are board games where early decisions can be super consequential to the point that people say you can lose the entire game on the first turn if you make poor choices. Do you think/worry that the campaign for North Africa could be lost on the first turn or first few turns? That's the first question, Andy. What's your verdict on that?
I don't think so. I think you could set yourself back, but I think because, one, it's so long and reinforcements are going to come in waves anyway. Like, you start off with a bit of an advantage, and then the British are going to send more people, and then Rommel comes in, and then like Lend-Lease. It's already going to have a lot of natural back and forth swings and momentums sort of built into the conflict anyway. So I think you might fuck something up, and it could have a long-lasting effect. But I don't think you'll ever like put yourself in a hole you can't play your way out of if you play well. At least sort of what I'm predicting will happen.
I think that's a good way to put it, yeah. My side is, I think, kind of a cop-out answer. Again, I'm just sitting on the fence all day today. But I think there's definitely a situation where you could make a mistake in the first turn that haunts you later in the game.
Oh, yeah.
To the extent where I don't think there's going to be one measurable mistake you can make in the first turn just because of how long the game is.
Yeah,
that would completely cut your legs out from under you.
I don't foresee like us on turn 100 and one of us is like, if only I hadn't moved them slightly out of position on like op stage 1.
Yes, I don't think
But like if I lose the 7th for a silly mistake in turn 2 or 3, that will definitely have massive ramifications for the entire game.
Yes, I think it's sort of a butterfly effect where it will be so difficult to trace that mistake back through this particular game. I think there are definitely board games on a smaller scale where you can maybe trace that easier.
Well, it
could be the case.
A perfect example in my mind is Monopoly, where you go around the first 2 or 3 times, the board gets bought up.
And that's it.
And then from there, you can sort of look at the board, and 99% of the time, you know who will win. It's just going to take 5 hours to get there.
Yeah, if you've got Mayfair from turn 1, that's sort of Mayfair is locked in. You've won the game, potentially, anyway, if you buy the other one, Park Lane. So I think, it's going to be hard to tell. I think that's the beauty of it. We'll never have to have that moment where we look back at the first turn and realise it will get lost in the haze of the 111 turns that the game is made up of. But I think there's definitely serious mistakes that contribute towards a loss, but there's so much game left to win it back.
Yes.
So, it's kind of a cop-out answer, but it's yes and no. So there you go. You've not got an answer, Rebecca, but you've had us talk, so I guess that's just as good, isn't it? That counts. The second question, what was your process for initially learning the rules like? Was it basically just studying the rulebook over and over again? I tend to struggle to learn from just reading the manual and have to set up dummy games and just play all sides, something I assume wouldn't really work for the game you're playing. Well, interestingly, we did actually talk about this a little bit last week.
Yeah, and I think we were studying the book over and over again, but that was probably a mistake.
Yeah.
I mean, the closest you're going to get to a dummy game is the scenario.
Mm-hmm.
But absolutely need, I think, to play a scenario before you try and do the whole game. There's just so much to keep track of that you need a bit of time where it's more fine to make mistakes. Like what we did today would be deeply annoying in the actual game, But we've sort of run into this and we can go, we can't just count on keeping the weather in our heads between us. We need like a sheet for like, this is the turn, this is the person who won initiative, this is what they picked, and this is the like weather rules.
Well, better yet, there's a counter. There is a counter in the game for weather. I think we need to
use the board counter.
Yeah, I think maybe we've got a little bit cocky in our old age now. We're getting a bit long in the tooth. We played this game for like 9-10 months. Now we just presume we know the weather. I think we need to keep an eye on that. But bring it back around to that. Yeah, we read the rules front to back. We read them cover to cover. And on the back of that, then we did a couple of sort of white box scenarios where we did a practice run of what bombardment was like. We ran a full close assault in a sort of practice mode.
Was it the 7th versus one of the black shirt divisions we did?
It was 7th versus Panzers.
That was it.
So we did that just so I could play with the German side a little bit. So we played around with that, and it gave a good idea. I think that gave one of the best ideas because we did that and the air combat, and I loved the air combat from Go, and I still do. So I think that really did do it justice in how it plays out functionally in the game.
Well, the thing about the air combat is every time you do it, it is in a box.
I guess that's another thing. It's isolated. It's in a vacuum.
An accurate experience. But yeah, I think lesson learned last week is jump into the thing and have a go and be willing to make mistakes is probably better than reading it all and putting it into memory and stuff. Because there's just too much to hold in there.
Yeah, if you were to play a game like this, maybe even something smaller scale, we can't speak to that necessarily with accuracy, but I think this kind of game, you'll learn it better through playing it.
Yeah.
I certainly have learned a lot better playing it than I have reading it.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the way to go with this. So that was our experience. We tried to read it, then we played it, realized that's the way to go. I think if we started off just playing the game and reading the rules as we went, we would have had an easier time. Having said that, Richard Berg does say in the rulebook to give it a read through first.
Oh yeah, you definitely
context.
Give it a read through first. But we were sort of trying to go like, this week we're going to read
this section
and try to lock it down, which is a good way to go about it. But then like that isn't you learning to play really. That's you doing the first entry point of learning to play.
Might work better if you're compartmentalizing it between 10 players.
Yes,
each player has a responsibility of knowing a certain part about the game.
Because then you just have to hold the supply if you're the rear area commander. You just have to know the aircraft stuff if you're the air commander.
Yes, but even then, I guess the supply stuff ties in so intrinsically to the rest of the game, you would probably still have a hard time getting that communicated.
I think you'd also want to be... If I was doing the rear area commanding and all the logistics and stuff, I'd be like, no, I need you guys to read this so you're not just like, I need 10 ammo. I need like 100 fuel here next turn. And it's like, I've got a lot of stuff like to manage. It would be good if you understood how this works.
Yeah, I think what it would do...
give me like a request sheet.
It definitely makes for arguments amongst friends.
Yes.
But all in all, I think there's not necessarily a right way to do it. I'm sitting on the fence again. Not necessarily a right way to do it, but I think I personally, playing through the game is much easier. I'd recommend that for everyone. Which is a good point because Rebecca goes on to say, also just wanted to let you know that as a result of listening to y'all, perfect y'all, there we go, I've picked up North Africa 41. Picture attached. And that I was inspired by Libyan sands, travel in a dead world, to train to bike 100 miles to push myself.
Oh, wow.
Thank you so much for doing this podcast. Stay subtle, humble, and brave. Rebecca, well, first of all, the bike 100 miles thing, I'm glad we've inspired someone to do something we won't do. Despite playing this long game, we couldn't do that. So kudos to you, Rebecca. We aren't biking anywhere. We don't have that in us. We simply can't do that. What we can do, however, is speak to North Africa 41 because, Andy, do you recognise the map that's been posted in this email?
Yeah, because it's currently part of our logo and it was the banner on our website.
North Africa 41 is the game that we erroneously put in the background of our logo, which if you're listening to this when this comes out, is still in the background of the logo. So Yeah, there it is, North Africa 41. A simpler game and one that we have just adopted as part of our logo through erroneous means.
I'm glad we're inspiring people to give these games a listen, because a go. Sorry, because I mean we've done the most extreme thing, but it has been a lot of fun that I would never have done or experienced. So it's cool other people are like picking stuff up.
This has been a lot more fun in different ways than I expected. So I imagine picking up a game of your own, playing it with friends, family, or I guess even on your own would be a fun experience. So I hope it goes well, Rebecca. Hope you're enjoying North Africa 41, our logo's sake. And thank you very much for the email.
I enjoy your bike ride.
Yeah, because that is 100 miles is a bike ride. Well, I guess that's it for the mailbag for now. We still have a fair bit in there. But if anyone does want to get in touch, the email address is info@warwithamate.co.uk. Our website is warwithamate.co.uk. And our Instagram is just warwithamate. I think when you say it like that, it just shaves off parts of the contact information.
Yeah, it's just getting more and more precise.
Yeah. And if you want to know what conflict is, it's just war. And if you want a friend, it's mate.
There you go.
Or I guess mate is another word.
War into Google. There's a lot of stuff there.
Yeah, we're actually quite bad for SEO if you're just searching for us with war. We'll answer everything. Every question you send in, we will get around to it eventually. We've got plenty more to come. Well, I guess the mailbag segment is history for this week.
Nice transition.
What else is history, Andy?
The history of the 7th.
Oh.
We're picking it back up.
Let's see how these guys ended up, because I hear they had an interesting experience out in the desert.
Oh boy, did they. So, I do not entertain extravagant hopes of this operation, but I do wish to make certain that if a big opportunity occurs, we are prepared morally, mentally, and administratively to use it to the fullest. That is Waverley about Operation Compass.
I don't think we're equipped in any of those three ways. So It's good that they thought about that in the real war.
Yeah. It is also, I found it interesting, administratively was one of the 3 big ones for him.
Yes. That does speak to the fact that this game does hold some real verisimilitude when it comes to what the tasks were at hand.
Oh, yeah.
Is that their subtle, humble, and brave?
Moral, mentally, and administratively.
Should we change it to that?
No, it doesn't flow quite as nicely.
It doesn't. They should have had you on PR.
Oh, yeah. I would have nailed that. But yeah, we left off on the 13th of December, 1940. Graziani starting his offensive. So, as they came over, the division's forward elements that we discussed, like the 11th Hussars, engaged and harassed the Italians, while also falling back to avoid prolonged engagements or getting bogged down. By the 16th of September, the Italians had reached Sidi Barrani, where they stopped progressing and they built a big series of fortified camps around it. While this is happening, the 7th have pulled back to Mersa Matruh, although it still has elements out in the desert, scouting and harassing the Italians. At the end of August, before the Italian launched their offensive reinforcements, reinforcements and supplies were sent from the UK to Port Said in Egypt, which is the port at the end of the Suez Canal. These arrive in October. They include 100 tanks, the parts to maintain them, as well as maintaining the tanks they already have, and additional artillery.
So end of October would be the end of this scenario?
Yes. They arrive at the start of October, so...
Also, this is the turn just gone?
Yes, this is the 7th Royal Tank Regiment and the 2nd Royal Tank Regiment that arrive to reinforce them.
Oh, would that be now? Sorry, this is October 1.
They've arrived.
Yeah, that's... Oh, yeah, of course, that's right now.
Brought it from Alexandria.
Oh, yes. Here we are. This is live feed.
Oh, yes. So we're going to skip forward a bit to the 9th of December, when... We're going to do a little bit of Operation Compass, because this is nuts. So on the 9th of December, the Western Desert Force launches Operation Compass, which is meant to be a counterattack and a 5-day raid against the newly captured Italian positions. It ends up being an extended raid, but 36,000 Brits attack fortified positions holding 150,000 Italian troops.
That's insane numbers.
Oh, yeah. Waverley told General... that's the quote as well. This is their limited operation where they're going to take the opportunities, and boy, are they going to. So Waverley tells General O'Connor, who's in charge of the Western Desert Force, which includes the 7th, to attack the area around City Barani using their newly arrived Matilda tanks, which are a step up in terms of tank quality for this conflict for both sides.
Yeah.
So, yeah, City Durrani is defended by fortified camps, but they leave a 20-mile gap between two of them. The 7th Armoured Division leads the 4th Indian Division and the 16th British Infantry Brigade in the attack. They carefully rehearse it throughout November, and then on the evening of 8th of December, they kick it off, set it into motion. The first camp they deal with was at a place called Nabiwa, where the new Matilda tanks show up and are basically impervious to Italian gunfire and, like, artillery.
That does not shock me from what I know of the Italian artillery and tanks as well.
Oh, yeah. Together with the infantry, they completely destroy the Miletti division.
No! That's my guys!
Yeah. The commander, General Miletti, who gave the division his name, engages tanks with a light machine gun before he's killed.
Okay, so we now have a new character on
Yes.
the board. General Miletti, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so General Miletti is a figure I'll bear in mind whenever they get up to hijinks. That's a man I know is in there.
Oh, yeah. Gonna find out a bit more about him, but engaging a tank with a light machine gun, he's probably a character.
That's a very sort of Rambo move. That's a Scarface send-off.
So this first camp, after they break the lines, the Cameroon Highlanders, who are part of the 4th Indian Division, sweep through the camp with a bayonet charge, killing several hundred Italians and taking over 4,000 prisoners.
We've seen these bayonet charges before.
Yeah. I thought it was just a Maori thing, but it seems they have a place even at this point.
I think, yeah, it was the Maori Division's move, but everyone else seems to have also had
People
a little
are
bit of
having
a
a go
turn.
at it to various success, but it works here. So the 7th Royal Tank Regiment, who've arrived, advance north from here, assisted by the 5th Indian Brigade, to assault another large encampment called Tumar West. They'd lost the element of surprise because they'd attacked the previous camp, and their attack was also hampered by an inconvenient midday sandstorm.
Ah, are you sure it wasn't a rainstorm?
Damn it! The first attack was by the Royal Fusiliers, which faltered, but the 3rd and 1st Punjabs managed to break through the camp's defences, taking another 2,000 prisoners. The attack on the camp, this is brilliant, was helped by truck drivers from New Zealand who were handling the logistics, who borrowed rifles and then led the British infantry with a war cry of, "Come on, you pommy bastards."
Wow.
So a bunch of truck drivers are like, "Well, I'm doing it, you have to follow."
And around the same time as a bayonet charge.
Yeah.
Suspicious timing, if you ask me.
Well, the Italians send a release force of tanks and motorized infantry in trucks to try and prevent this attack.
I can't see that helping.
The 4th and 6th Rajputana rifles drove them away, inflicting 400 casualties without a single injury.
Right, that's insane.
Next up, on the morning of the 10th, 2 more Italian camps surrendered before they head up to City Barani under cover of fog. The fog lifts just as they start the attack, which allows the Italian infantry to artillery to fight back and inflict heavy casualties.
Okay.
Until 10 Matildas of the 7th Royal Tank Regiment show up, supported by naval artillery, neither of which the Italians have an answer for, leading to the surrender of a Black Shirt Legion garrison.
Oh, wow.
This is 2 days into the raid. The British have suffered 700 losses and taken 20,000 Italians prisoner.
What the hell? That is insane.
They came with 36,000 people, so at this point, every 2 British guys has a prisoner. At this point, the 4th Indian Division are recalled to Cairo because they need to go down to Sudan to fight a different Italian army who are sort of moving up. So if the they'd stayed, this could have gone even crazier. But this left things for the 7th, who continue the battle. They find several more camps they'd been planning to attack just completely abandoned. The Italians are in like full retreat. The 11th Hussars at this point discover the Cantanizaro Division. Is that one?
Yes. I think that is one of the black shirts.
Yes. Yes, that would make sense. They've set up on a salt flat with a whole bunch of artillery. I think it's like 30 to 40 artillery guns.
Right.
And they're going to make a stand here. But Commander Lieutenant Colonel John Comby, who he gathers this group of guys together, which comes to be known as the Comby Force, to deal with this.
I think I've seen that somewhere in one of the books,
Yeah,
Combi Force.
You will have done. Can't remember where it is in the books, but they're like quite a big deal for this. The Italians are making a strong stand here. This is probably what some of the most resistance they put up during these few days, until tanks get round behind them and flank them, and then it...
And if those tanks get behind you and you've got no way to combat them, they're just there now, and they have what they want.
Yeah. So at this point, the Italian army is in full retreat, being actively harassed by the 7th Support Group and the 11th Hussars. The Italian Air Force is trying to cover the retreat, but it's just not really working. The retreat's continuing. The Italians are chased back across the Italian wire, so back over the border out of Egypt to south of Sollum and into Cyrenaica, which is the mountainous region on the hump.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
that's right. That's where the Saharan detachment is, roughly, isn't it?
That's the Qataran Depression. This is up on the coast.
Yes, I know what you mean now.
It's the area around Tobruk and Bardia.
That's around where my wall currently is.
Yeah, it's where the fertile area of Libya is.
Yes,
where most of the people lived before Graziani did his genocide. So... yeah, by the 15th, the Italian army has been pushed back out of Egypt, and both sides take a pause for a little bit. The Italians to regroup around Bardia, while the British need some time to take infantry of all the stuff they've captured, which at this point includes 38,000 prisoners, a vast quantity of equipment, 237 guns, which is like artillery guns, not
handheld.
And over 70 tanks. They set off, remember, with 36,000 people. So they've
taken 38,000 prisoners.
Yeah, they now have more prisoners than
men that they started with. That ratio is insane.
Yeah. The 7th Armoured Division surrounds Bardia, but hold off the attack until the 6th Australian Division could arrive to replace the 4th Indians, and also so they could resupply. The Italian defences around Bardia, it's an 18-mile-long perimeter with a 4-foot tank ditch, 6 minefields, barbed wire fences the whole way. This defence garrisons 45,000 men, 400 guns, 100 tankettes, and a dozen real tanks.
Real tanks?
Not tankettes, This would be an absolute nightmare to take and would have been much more difficult, but the British did have the advantage as they'd captured a chief engineer on a joyride with some lady friends.
Not again.
With the detailed maps back in July. So
the same one?
This is the guy they caught who had all the mapped out defences. So they start probing them, but they have like a blueprint of the defences they're going to attack.
Probing is an interesting word to use when this guy's been caught with his pants down.
Yeah. So while most of the 7th are preparing to attack Bardia with the Australians, the 4th Armoured Brigade, who are part of the 7th, detach and attack Sidi Omar, which the rest of the force had just sort of gone past because it wasn't stopping them.
Yes, I recognise that from the map.
So on the 16th of December, they attack Sidi Omar from the west with the 2nd Royal Tank Regiment, supported by the 4th Royal Horse Artillery. The Italians had positioned most of their defences facing east, where they would expect an attack to come from. But because they've gone round them, they come in from the west. The battle lasts only 10 minutes. 50 Italians are killed before a further 900 surrender.
Wow.
At this point, there's a pause in the action because both sides need to supply themselves, particularly the British, because I'll remind you, this was meant to be a 5-day exploratory raid.
And it's turned into an all-out assault.
Yeah, and they've taken like 50,000 prisoners.
Exploratory raid turned mass victory is insane.
Well, I do wish to make certain that if a big opportunity occurs, we are prepared. They are prepared for this. So we'll leave them with a pause in the action here as the siege of Bardia sets in. The British and Australian troops round the city have a Christmas in the desert before launching the attack on Bardia on the 1st of January. And we'll pick that up next time for the second half of Operation Compass and the further adventures of the 7th Armoured Division.
Well, the 7th Armoured Division, it would seem, in history, a lot more formidable of a force compared to the game. In the game, they are, I guess, still harassing Italian forces, but in a much more passive manner. Although, having said that, we are getting to the point in history where they were doing something much more significant.
Yes.
So maybe they're going to swing round and do some scary things.
Because, yes, they launched this in December. So September, November, October were relatively
quiet.
Stable. There was the Italians digging in.
Which is what's happening right now.
Yeah.
So history is indeed repeating itself on the board right now. We could see a bit of a repeat of this in the full game.
I hope so.
It'll be interesting to see how close it pans now, because now I'm looking at my plans for the full game, and it sounds dangerously close to what you've just described there. But I know now how it went in history, so I don't really want to repeat that too closely.
This is an insane thing, though. Like, the level of coordination and skill the British Army has, and the amount of... I mean, if you're taking more prisoners than guys you have...
You're doing something right.
Like, that's crazy. Because part of the reason the attack stalls out, not necessarily stalls out, but part of the reason they sort of dig in around Bardia and don't continue, is they have something like 20 times the amount of projected prisoners the raid would have generated, and significantly more territory. It was basically meant to harass the Italians and sort of pressure them back over the border. Instead, it just caused a full retreat.
Christmas really came early for the 7th Armoured.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that's... Yeah, because part of me is now thinking I'm more intimidated by them, but I don't want to fall into the long-range desert group trap of now fearing this unit that may well prove to be less formidable in the full game.
In the game, it might. Although, I do wonder if they've got a bit of a buff because of how good their reputation is. Like, because they will, after this, take part in the invasion of Italy, D-Day, and they're one of the first groups into Rome. Not Rome, sorry, into Berlin.
Oh, wow.
So they go from, like, start of the war to the very end and are, like, accomplished the entire time. So, yeah, they're one of the more, like, decorated units in the war, I think.
I wonder what that must be like, going from desert warfare and then moving to, like, urban warfare in Berlin.
It's such a different thing, like, the vast space of the desert, like, versus, fighting in
a major city.
And when they fight in Italy, it's like a rough winter. Like, it's just very different terrain the whole time.
Yeah, it really speaks to their adaptability, being able to do that. Keeping the tanks maintained, adjusting, I think psychologically as well. There must be a huge gulf between surviving in a desert because you're also fighting the environment.
Yes.
I mean, the section that we did, that you covered, where it was the idea of, you walk over a sand dune and you find yourself lost, to being in a city which will be, mostly at that point in a bad
ruins,
state.
Yeah.
Ruins.
But they have different dangers. Like, in the urban environment, you've got people could be behind anyone
could be anywhere.
Yeah. I think part of the reason there's so many prisoners in this war is because if your camp gets overrun, you can't like slip away and then like flee and then like go back and join up with your units. Because if you guys like run out of your camp, it's like cool, like 200 kilometers through the desert while you're being chased by vehicles and planes and stuff.
Yeah, this isn't like Saving Private Ryan where you can slink off through the ruins of a city and then come back out and regroup. It's a case of you're running through sand dunes or just open, vast space where you'll be picked off by planes or spotted from a distance. And at that point, if you're spotted from a distance, there's nowhere to go.
You're also leaving in a hurry for an expedition that nowadays people would prep for like months to cross that much desert.
Yes.
Like,
and not everyone's going to pull off the miracle of surviving on like a little quart of lemonade.
No, that's
a one-off.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But I'm gaining a massive amount of respect for New Zealanders from this series because you've got the Maori. The initial guys that made up the long-range desert group were from New Zealand.
Yes.
And then you've got these truck drivers being like, come on, you pommy bastards, and leading a charge. And they are logistic truck drivers. They're not meant to be soldiers in that way.
Yeah, all of a sudden, this paints New Zealanders as war heroes, regardless of your background. You are just built for war. Just machines of victory.
Yeah.
Regardless of your profession or design. It's scary stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Thankfully, I'm not going to fight New Zealand anytime soon in real life.
Do not wake the sleeping giant of New Zealand.
Well, I've always said I'm not going to start a fight with New Zealand. I just don't have it in me to start a fight. Oh my god. It's this popcorn, man. I've got popcorn kernels in my mouth.
It's ruined it.
It's hard to say words in the right order. The popcorn jumbles them all up. It pops all over the place.
Well, we live and learn to maybe not do that next time.
Well, I don't know, Andy. You seem pretty grouched about my whole popcorn thing. Do you think maybe there's a way that we can make this up?
Yeah.
You think maybe there's a way that we can get back on the same page?
Yeah, I've got a common ground for you.
And now for something nicer. A little oasis in the war. It's time for some common ground. I'm trying the intro for common ground. I'm recording. Maybe.
Yeah.
Got a common ground. And common ground, of course, is the segment in which every week we come together and we decide to, despite the war that we're having with each other, become friends again. We'll find a topic to unite on. And this week, Andy, it's your turn to pick the common ground.
And I've got it here for you. We need more town-specific and town-wide sports.
Right, okay. Okay, so hang on. One has immediately popped to mind here. We've got a bit of a flow.
Okay.
I'm thinking of, the cheese race.
That was one of them, yes. Because that's a town in Gloucestershire. That's their sport.
So, do you want to give a bit of background for anyone who listens and is not aware of obscure subcultures of England?
Yeah. So, basically, they get everyone at the top of this hill, and then they throw like a massive block of cheese down the hill.
It's like a big wheel, isn't it?
Yeah. And basically, everyone like sprints down the hill, and the guy who gets the cheese gets to... I think they just keep the cheese. I think that's the whole thing. But yeah, that's like specific to that town. I can't remember exactly where it is, but you know that one where they have it's basically like a football match between two towns next to each other where the goals are...
Oh, yes, the goals are like spread across this huge like space between the towns.
Yeah, it's like takes place over like kilometers.
Yes, I've heard of this one as well.
Yeah. It's these kind of things. I think we need more of them where like a town will have its own sport or like two towns near each other will have like a game of football where 10,000 people can get involved.
Yes, it's sort of it's like a nicer vibe of, the film Hot Fuzz.
Yes.
Where the village comes together to kill everyone off who's causing the town sort of disrepute.
Yeah.
It's that idea of there being a weird communal sense of, well, this is our thing. We've got this sport. This is our competition. Because I also like the idea of wanting to... I guess it speaks to us playing the game. I like the idea of picking something obscure up and just really diving into it.
And just, yeah, embracing it.
And if you could just choose from a list of hundreds of villages in the country, or if this goes global, thousands upon thousands of villages globally, and just be like, I want to go and do this obscure competition. I want to be part of this one.
Yeah, and I think towns should start coming up with them. Like, you use what's there. So you use, like, we'll use the bridge, or we've got this series of hills. How do we make this into a sport?
I like the idea of a bridge one, because I think you could get some sort of troll-themed thing going on.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so there's a troll under the bridge. One person has to be the troll, and everyone needs to get across the bridge, but the troll has, I don't know, like
those
a flare
big
gun.
things, you know, the big versions of the things.
The gladiators.
Gladiator, yeah.
Yes, we're both doing the same movement, as if we're fighting with a gladiator stick. So they're on top of the bridge in your situation, and they're trying to fend
stop people going off, or they're trying to get the ball from one town to another, and the other town's trying to do it, and they have a trolley who, like, stops you getting past. But
I think we get like a strongman who's like this, like I'm talking like, you know, like sort of power lifter, and he's got one of these like earbud things, but it's weighted, and if you get knocked over the end of the bridge, you're out, you're disqualified. If you get past him, then you score a point for the town.
Yeah,
and then if the town gets so many points, then they win. Otherwise, the corporation that's paid for this strongman, they win, and they get another square mile of greenbelt land to build a flat in.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's like, we'll bet you 10 million for the local council versus a bit of land ripe for development.
Yes.
So you want to like make Footloose, is it? Or like one of those, like, we need to do something to save the town. We're making that official.
You know what? Yes, you know, all of these petitions against building something in an area.
It should be solved by like an obstacle course, or like a version of gladiators, or whoever can like get the property deed by running down a hill the fastest.
Yes, and this is where I guess the interesting point comes in. The town names the competition based around their strengths, but they're up against corporations who can fund one champion, or I guess a team of champions, to go up against the village.
Yeah, the town can build the game around their local geographical features, what they're good at, whatever. And then they have to come in and win the right to, like, do things there.
Yes.
So it's like, oh, we don't want a Starbucks to open. You better get the cheese.
Yeah, you have to get the cheese. So then Starbucks hires out the best cheese catcher in all the land. And this guy, he's bolting down. It's Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt is the cheese catcher.
But he's good on the flat. He's not... I don't know if he's got the... That's going to translate to going downhill, or if he's going to be too fast and fall over.
Well, I don't know, because you know the guy on your sofa? Yeah. He knew Usain Bolt.
I mean, everyone knows Usain Bolt.
No, but he was actually friends with him briefly.
Oh.
Apparently. It was in a tabloid once, I think, but then it got scrubbed from the tabloid. Yeah. So he would be all over this. In fact, he's perking up at the mention of it. So I guess he can simmer down, because that's not his wheelhouse at all.
I like this, because I always figured we just need more of these fun, weird sports. But I'm now also liking we're going to add some fun stakes to them, where it's like, this is how the town, like, gates keeps itself.
Yeah, you have to best them. You have to bring it. It's very sort of medieval, feudal.
Sort of Odysseus... like Achilles fighting Hector, like having champions, but niche sports.
Yeah, but to prevent a conglomerate from coming in and putting in a coffee shop that's going to make the local cafe completely defunct, because they'll gouge them with pricing. So instead, you have a team of champions stood at the Troll Bridge, and they've been there forever. I guess in this instance, it would be the town is the troll. Or maybe, actually, I think
it depends how they design the game.
Yeah, I think it's more thematically correct, in fact, that it's the Starbucks has the troll, and they have to get past the troll to protect their village. I think this is a great one. I'm very enthusiastic about this one.
Or you have nearby towns who are competing for funding play the game against each other.
Yes, at that point they have to come to their own common ground.
Or it's one of those sports where everyone in the town can get involved, and it's like, get the ball somewhere. And then it's like, oh, you silly, like, sports rivalry you get too invested in. Like, who cares if your football team beats their football team if once a year your entire town is going to play football against their town?
That would make it more interesting, because I think at that point you cut out and I guess this is me going on a bit of a tangent. It's kind of what Common Ground is anyway. I was trying to get the bus out of the city the other day, and there was a football match on. I was stuck in traffic for 45 minutes. And when I say stuck...
Oh, it's insane, yeah.
I mean standstill.
Yeah.
The opposing team, I can't even remember who it was
Because they
now.
have to, like, clear them out and let all of them get out and then open things up so there's not, like, fights and stuff.
Well, they were having a march through the city, the other team. It was a home game for us, and they were marching through the city. And I don't really follow football. I can't remember which team it was, but the bus stood still for 45 minutes. And I just think... Yeah, you're doing this march. Everyone's having a good time. I think I always encourage people to enjoy whatever hobby they've got. But with the caveat, if it disrupts my public transport, I'm not on board for you having a fun time anymore.
Oh, yeah.
But if you're
Have
not...
fun until it annoys me.
Exactly, that's my mantra. If you're getting blitzed and you're going to go watch a sport, I wouldn't get blitzed to go, to the cinema. I feel like I'd lose a bit of what's going on. I feel like surely the same must apply. I know it's all about the atmosphere. For any sports fans out there, I'm probably really diminishing the thing you love. But when it comes to that, I think if you've got a village and you're partaking in the sport, you're part of the team, I feel like you cut out that aspect of the nonsense.
You get your shortcut to the bonding that you're looking for.
Yes.
Without the weird yobboism.
Yeah, you get rid of the hooligans.
Yeah. Well, they are going to... There's going to be a bad element there.
Yeah, there'll be some bad eggs. There always are. But you at least have that bonding experience. Then afterwards, if you win, go for your big piss-up. Enjoy yourself. But you've maintained the core of what you're doing here. And I think that's what this is. You're maintaining the spirit at the core of it. The sport, the community, whatever it is. If it's fighting a troll on a bridge, if it's chasing a cheese, you're maintaining the core.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it all, you can enjoy it.
Plus, sports fans can then be like, there's 1,000 more sports.
Yeah, and you love that. It's more of the thing you love. And it actually reflects perfectly what we're doing, Andy. We're doing this. We get rid of the hooliganism. We get rid of the yobs. It's just me and you. And at the end of this, then we get our reward. Then we get a meal paid for by the loser.
Plus, we've developed a skill set where if Jeff Bezos wants to come in and put in an Amazon factory, he has to beat us at the game. Which has a extra nice element of it takes so long, they'll move on.
That's a good point. When it comes to us defending our honour, we will challenge the opponent to a game of the campaign for North Africa. And in that instance, Andy, I'd be honoured to be on your team.
You two. Question. You know Bill and Ted?
Yes.
You know how they play death?
Yes.
And they, like, get around him because they're not playing chess. They're playing, like, flicky football or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's because he's played so many of the other games. You just bring this out and he's like, fuck.
But you can read the rules, Death, but it's much easier when you play. And guess what? No practice scenario.
Yeah. Well, has anyone else died and has to play this to you to not die? I don't think so.
Well, that's how we do it. We've not only put the world to rights, but we've also safeguarded our souls from death itself.
A specific interpretation of death.
One from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Which has as much chance of being right as anyone else.
That's how it works. It's all guesswork. We're all looking out to the divine, and we're all brandishing our maps of the campaign for North Africa, and we're saying, here I am, let's do this. And I personally can't think of a better way to send this one off, Andy.
Neither can I. Thank you for listening, everyone. Get in touch. War of a Mate. Info at warofamate.co.uk. At War with a Mate for Instagram. And warofamate.co.uk
yes.
for the website.
And again, we're still following through with Movember for the rest of the month, up until the 30th. If you want to donate or share it or even just
really
look at it.
Appreciate it. And
it's a massively good cause and it's massively appreciated. The donation link will be popped in the description. And yeah, get in touch with us any other way that you wish. We accept smoke signals. Send the avatar of death if you want. Just we'll lock them down for a little while if you do that. But From me, James,
Me, Andy. Thank you for listening and stay subtle, humble, and brave.
in the deserts of your mind. Good night.